Those headlines at 8. I'm Shreya Dhondial and I'm tossing it over to my colleague Karma Paljor, who is joining us from Kathmandu for a 1-hour special. Karma, it's over to you.
Hello and welcome to our special show tracking the aftermath of the Nepal earthquake. The country is in mourning. There's death and destruction everywhere. Just today, from where I am standing about 100 meters from here, a body was dug out. People now getting used to scenes like that. But every now and then, there's a story which uplifts the mood of the people here in Kathmandu. A boy, a 15-year-old boy, was taken out alive after 5 days, over 120 hours. We'll hear such stories ahead in the next 60 minutes. I'm Karma Paljor. But first, to the story of a daring rescue. Shogata Mukhopadhyay now joins us from the epicenter of the quake. He went with the Air Force on a mission to rescue 4 people from Mumbai.
CNN-IBN is now joining the Indian Army in a unique rescue mission at a place called Gaza in the Gorkha district of western Nepal. The Indian Army is being assisted, as you can see, by a group of Nepali military personnel, because the information is that 4 Indians remain trapped in this inhospitable terrain of Gaza for the last 6 days. They have run out of food and water, and it is now on the Indian Army to rescue them and bring them back to safety. We are sitting inside an ALA chopper of the Indian Army Aviation and are trying to reach one of the toughest places in Nepal, from where the idea is to try and rescue the 4 Indians who remain stuck and cut off from the rest of the world. As you can see, the ILA chopper is trying to land in some of the most inhospitable terrains of Nepal. And you can see these Indians who are being rescued from this place, who are without food and water for the last several days now, who have now been rescued from this place here in Nepal. You can see the relief in their faces. You can see the smiles on their faces on being received the assurance of taken back to safety. Let us talk to them and figure out, how long were you stuck?
For about 5 days. We were at Korla basis when the earthquake happened. So this is our 5th day.
Where were you going?
We were doing the Manaslu circuit trip. So we were heading
I'm joined by Lieutenant Colonel Amit Kaushik of the Indian Army Aviation over here. Sir, what is this entire operation all about? What are you doing exactly from here?
See, since the time this earthquake has taken place in Nepal, Indian Army has been informed about it, and we have been told that we should be going all out to give all possible assistance to the Nepalese army towards these rescue and relief operations.
Alright.
So we are inducting for last 3 days loads, rescue and relief material, which includes food supplies, water, medicines, comfort material like blankets. All these things we are inducting in inaccessible, inhospitable terrain. We have evacuated approximately 250 people from these earthquake affected areas.
And that includes foreigners as well?
It includes foreigners who were stuck there. Their food supplies had finished. We have evacuated approximately 42 of them yesterday.
So Army Aviation there doing a job in difficult terrain. I've got to tell you that Manisha Berry, Sharmila Joshi, Trukesh Sabnis and Yogesh Kulkarni were rescued. They were stuck in a region 4 nautical miles east of a village called Karajue. Shogata, how difficult is it? Because you were trying to explain the terrain, how it's difficult for the helicopter to land, and also the weather has not been on the side of rescuers. It was raining here in Kathmandu.
Well, Karma, you've hit the nail on its head. I have been, doing sorties with the Army and Air Force personnel over here for the last 2 days now, and this certainly has been one of the most challenging assignments, in the sense that the places that we tried to visit and go today were some of the most difficult terrains that one could expect on these hills over here, and the reason is absolutely what you were talking about. The weather gods have not been very, very kind over here. The areas are inaccessible, the terrains are inhospitable, and then obviously there is a huge issue of making those landings. In fact, the Mi-17 choppers, which the Air Force uses normally, are not being used in these kind of difficult terrains, simply because there is the option that the Indian Army is providing, the aviation unit of the Indian Army is providing, in terms of these AL-8 choppers, which are smaller in sizes. But even then, Karma, these choppers are finding it very, very difficult to land in these places. If you had seen those videos which we managed to take today, you would have seen that the chopper barely managed to land from where these 4 Indians were rescued and evacuated. There was simply no place. It was actually hanging by one of its rails, and somehow we managed to drag in those people who were left high and dry for the last 5 or 6 days, without food, without water, at the mercy of those villagers. In fact, they were being treated kindly by those villagers. It was because of them that they survived this long. But the fact remains, Karma, that several such places in districts like Gorkha, in districts like Lamjung, which are very, very remote, still are yet to get those first relief material, first rescue operations being held out of there, simply because of the fact that they cannot be reached even by choppers, it seems now. Because I have seen today, those massive landslides that have taken an entire villages over there. They just look like matchboxes. I really fail to understand how these villagers could survive that massive shake that happened on Saturday, and the following shakes that happened after that. So obviously you can understand there is deep distress amongst people out here, and as a result of which it's both the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force, as well as the Nepalese Army over here are finding it very, very difficult to control the discontent that is brewing at the ground level now. Karma?
Right, after rescue, relief will certainly be a huge challenge. Shogata, thanks for that update. Stay safe and continue to get us those reports. Shogata has been reporting from one of the most difficult areas, certainly, to get to. Every now and then, in an effort like this, when the entire country is mourning, there comes an event, a rescue that lifts spirits up. In fact, today, they rescued a boy, a 15-year-old boy. He was working at a hotel here in Kathmandu, a guest house which collapsed. He says, I was speaking to him and he says he survived on 2 bottles of butter which were there by his side. For water, he squeezed some old rags which were wet at the time when the hotel went down. That's how he survived. And after 120 hours, 5 days, he was pulled out alive. He's at the Israeli field hospital. Joined by the doctor who treated this boy. It's an incredible story. He was under the rubble for over 120 hours, and he survived. Did you see any injury on him?
No, we didn't see any real injury. He was, as I said, he was weak, but he was okay. He was talked to us, he was full conscious, and we just see that he was lack of food and water.
He was speaking about the things every 15-year-old, and he's a 15-year-old boy, and every 15-year-old boy would ask, what all was he asking you or telling you?
He was saying that he was lonely, he was looking for his family, and he was hoping that somebody will come and get him out from where he was. He didn't speak a lot, we didn't ask a lot of questions.
As far as this field hospital is concerned, from the time you set up about 96 hours after the earthquake, and you've treated a fair amount of people. I'm looking at 140 patients you have treated here.
It's now standing over 190.
190. And the other interesting thing about this field hospital that Israelis have set up is that they've even had a delivery. And doctor, you was a boy.
Yeah, it's not my delivery. I didn't give the delivery, but it's boy. I think the most interesting about this hospital is that all other delegations are coming from the States and from Germany and from Scandinavian come here to see what we can do so they can transfer their patients, the people that they get out of the debris, to bring them over out, to bring them here to this hospital.
Right. And the most important thing was that the Nepali government has asked for orthopedic surgeons because that was what was needed, and that facility is available here.
Yeah, we have a lot of orthopedic surgeons. We have the military hospital of the Nepal nearby, and we have a good collaboration between their orthopedics and our orthopedics. They are working together.
That's some light in a sea of darkness right now, talking about challenges, limited capabilities at Tribhuvan Airport. Now, relief material is coming in, but because of the limited capacity at Tribhuvan Airport, they are unable to handle the kind of traffic that is coming in from all over the world. Anubha will join me after the break with her report.